Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fawzia Shah. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Today's topic is going to be the illusion of love, narcissistic mother-son dynamics. Let's get started. Narcissists normally do not nurture their children. They lack empathy. And narcissistic mother-son dynamic leads to the son's inability to be autonomous, lacks self-worth, and has relationship problems in adulthood. They see their children as an extension of themselves. The way a narcissistic mother manipulates her son and damages him for life is, number one, neglect. So the dynamic between the son and the narcissistic mother is where she can be very disinterested in him or overly interested in him, and through manipulation, guilt, and shame is how she controls him, how she manipulates him into believing that she loves him. And her way of showing love would be to make him the center of her attention, but it's actually wanting him to make her the center of his attention. So here are some of the things that she would do. So one is going to be neglect. Neglect his need, his wants, his need for socialization, his need to be autonomous. She will neglect all of those needs, and instead she will have him do what she needs for him to do, what she needs emotionally from him. Okay, she's going to be unable to meet her son's needs, especially developmental needs, because she's not interested in his developmental needs. She is needing for him to be there for her. And then comes the enmeshment period. The enmeshment is, this is how her son becomes her supply. I mean, he is supposed to supply her, being her companion, listen to her complaints, listen to her when she's having emotional outbursts, when somebody has said something to hurt her feelings. He becomes her confidant. He becomes her best friend. So the enmeshment is to supply her with attention, admiration, and meet her needs and wants. And that is a role that she actually has assigned him, all under the disguise of love. Then comes the idolization and the criticism period. And in this period, what she does is idolizes him in front of other people, but very critical of them at home. Here's a child who's very confused. He's not sure whether his mom really loves him or not, and confuse him. And that's another way she can control him. And then there's a triangulation. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because the narcissistic mother is going to use anything and anyone in order to stay in control and make sure that she gets her supply. So the son that she has chosen is going to be the one she's going to make him, as he grows up into adulthood, manage her finances. He will probably become her power of attorney. And because the narcissists lack intimacy with their spouses, they bring in the third party. And the third party in this case could be the son, or it could be work, or it could be a lover. It could be someone she's having an extramarital affair with. So any way that she can triangulate, so the communication is going on through her, and she is the main one who's controlling everyone, including the son. So during the triangulation period, the son begins to feel very grandiose because he feels like he is better than his father. You can look at this thing as the Oedipal complex, as Freudian had described. where he feels like mother is preferring him over his father. So the triangulation is a period where the son really starts to feel like, okay, my mother really loves me. Now, here's another issue that can happen. If a second child is born and that child is a daughter, or it could be another son, it is devastating. The firstborn son, whichever son that she has been grooming for her supply, it's a devastating realization that someone else will have my mother's attention. So the mother realizes this because she has picked one child, one son, that is going to be her supplier. So she will neglect, even reject the second-born as if it's not even her child, because she wants to make sure that she's got this son to do whatever she wants him to do. And the envy and control is, as the child becomes older, she becomes very jealous of his friends. She becomes jealous of his attention that he gives to his friends or his girlfriend. She becomes very jealous, and she actually will shame him, put him through guilt, and get very angry with him. Either way, they become very complacent. They become very resentful, and they become very angry. And you see this behavior pattern in their relationships when they get married or with their girlfriends. Because the mother is now in competition with his attention. If he's giving it to his wife, she is not going to like that. And he's caught in the middle. He's caught between the two. And so, so the dynamics, the damages that these dynamics do for him is that he becomes very codependent. He repeats the same behavior. In other words, we see narcissistic personality development with this son, that he could also be very narcissist and passive aggressive in his behaviors towards other women and in their relationships in general. And then they have this resentment towards their mother, but they also have the resentment towards other women because they can't take their anger out at their mother. So they take it out on the women that they meet or the women that they're married. Or they may pick a woman that they marry who's also a narcissist, and they marry that because that's what they know. Because the narcissistic mother has not allowed the son to have a sense of self, a sense of identity, a sense of autonomy, or learn anything about healthy intimacy. And the narcissistic mother will reshape the family bonds, the family relationships. And I've covered that in another video of mine, how she reshapes. So the narcissistic son, she reshapes his relationships with his father and other siblings. And if there's any threat of exposure, she will make sure that that person has lost their credibility, that no one believes them. And she will use this son to stand up for her and admire her, even in public, and be totally complacent towards her. I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I am wishing you the best. Thank you.